What is the name of the law? Generally known by the name of the
Sacred
scientist.
Heart, Greco.
The law of equivalence.
No. All right. Destrehan, anyone want to take a shot? It's Hooke's Law. Hooke's Law. All right, we have another face-off for a quick 10. Tell me the original trademark for the teenage fashion model that was named after the inventor's daughter who preferred older-looking dolls. What was the trademark?
Sacred Heart, Windhorse.
Barbie.
That's right, prototype of the original Barbie doll. All right, Sacred Heart, you're on the board with 10 points. Now, girls, you got a chance to pick up 20 more. This is the first lanyap of the game. We'd like you first to listen to the following musical selection. Then I'll ask 2 questions. Listen.
Without dreams of hope and pride, a man will die. Though his flesh still moves, his heart sleeps in the grave.
Now, you may have suspected that was the theme song for a film. Can you tell me the name of the film? This can be rather tough if you've never seen the film, and a lot of people have not. It was Children of Sanchez. However, you have a chance for 10 to salvage out of this one. If you can name the well-known arranger of this musical offering.
Henry Mancini.
That's right, Henry Mancini for 10 points. I don't know whether you were taking a calculated guess or what, but you were right on target. That's what counts. All right, here's another face-off. We're going for a lanyap of 30 points. For a quick 10, tell me the minimum number of electoral votes
Sacred
a
Heart,
presidential
Windhorse.
candidate.
270.
That's exactly right. You've got 10 points. The minimum number of electoral votes needed for a presidential candidate to become the next elected president. All right, we have a 30-point lanyap, girls. And again, this is oriented to the election. The election's over, and along with Carter's defeat, the incumbent Democratic senator was defeated in 7 states. For 5 points apiece, up to a maximum of 6. Name these states. That gives you a leeway of 1, but we have to have a list of only 6. No best out of 7.
Kansas, Illinois, New York, Pennsylvania,
2 more.
Texas, Alabama.
I don't know how you did it, but you managed to miss them all. Of course, let's face it, there are 48, and I challenge anybody in the audience to come up with all 6 or 7. South Dakota, Indiana, Washington, Iowa, Idaho, Georgia, and Wisconsin were the states that had a complete flip-flop from Democrat to Republican. We'll move on to another face-off. We're going for a lanyap at 20. The Venera spaceships were the first to ever land on another planet. For a quick 10 points, name the planet.
Destrehan, Gode. Venus.
Correct. Venus, you're on the board. Destrehan. All right, Destrehan, you've got 10 on the board. You trail by 20. Here's a chance to tie, perhaps, if you can answer all 4 parts of this lanyap. Sometimes adjectives or nicknames used to describe certain types of people are from the names of literary characters. For 5 points each, tell me the literary name applied to the following. And these have since been used as terms, descriptive terms, adjectives, what have you. Number 1, a person who is almost too good to be true. It's from a novel by Eleanor Porter. She was... Anyone want to try? Pollyanna. Pollyanna. She was just so good. That's why they say when somebody's so good, they're Pollyanna. All right, here's a person involved in a dreary, narrow-minded, middle-class existence from a Sinclair Lewis novel, referred to as a Babbitt, after George Babbitt. A money-pinching, crotchety person created by Dickens.
Scrooge.
Correct. Scrooge, Ebenezer. And finally, a handsome, roguish lover of women from The Fair Penitent by Nicholas Rowe. All right, we'll ask for an answer, please. Destrehan. It's a Lothario. A Lothario. However, you've picked up 5 more points, Destrehan. You trail by 15. We'll move on to another face-off. We're going for a lanyap at 20 points now. She was an American reformer who campaigned for civil liberties, racial equality, and women's suffrage. She received the Nobel Peace Prize in 1931. She wrote a book entitled 20 Years at Hull House. For 10 points, name her.
Sacred Heart, Windhorse.
Black Moses.
No. Destrehan, can you take it? Oh, sorry, we've had a consultation. You have to be careful on that. It was inadvertent. Forgetting that, of course, this is a referral on a face-off, so you cannot consult. We have to throw it out. The answer was Jane Addams. We'll toss up another face-off. This member of the weasel family is called a stoat in the summer when it has a brownish coat.
Sacred Heart, conic.
Ermine.
That's right. In the winter, it's called ermine. 10 points. That entitles you to a shot at 20 more points of lanyap. Romans speak Italian, not Roman. Americans speak English, not American, although the British may doubt that. 2 questions. First, for 10 points. What people speak Romany or Romany? Romany, R-O-M-A-N-Y.
Gypsies.
Correct. For another 10. What people speak Romansh? Romansh. R-O-M-A-N-S-H. Ask for an answer.
Romania.
No, the Swiss speak Romansh. But you picked up 10 more points. Sacred Heart. We have another face-off. We're going for a lanyap at 20. For a quick 10 points, to what family do the Romance languages, the Germanic languages, and the
Sacred Heart,
Sanskrit?
boss.
Latin.
No, I'm afraid that's incorrect, and we'll turn it over now to Destrehan. You must ring for recognition. No consultation now. For a quick 10, to what family do the Romance languages, the Germanic languages, and Sanskrit belong? All in the same general
Destrehan,
family
Levetro.
language.
Latin.
No, it's actually Indo-European is the basic family, of which Latin is one. All right. We'll move on to another face-off for a quick 10. What number president will Ronald Reagan be?
Sacred Heart, conic.
40.
That's right. He'll be the 40th. Correct for 10. Lanyap of 20 coming up. If you like summer at the beach, you'll do well on this. For 5 points each, identify the following words or phrases containing the word beach. All of these contain beach in the word or the phrase. All right, number 1. An area on an enemy shore occupied in order to secure the further landing of troops is called what? Beach is part of it.
Beach hold.
No, you're so close, but it's beachhead. Beachhead. Second, a strip of land along the shoreline is known as the what? It's a beachfront. Beachfront. A male beach attendant at a hotel or a popular California singing group member would be what?
Beach boy.
Beach boy, right. Yes, indeed. Here we go. A man who is a drifter on a beach or who looks for valuable items washed up on shore.
Beach bum.
Beach bum or beachcomber, either one would be correct, and we've got 10 more points for you. Academy of Sacred Heart. And I hear the buzzer in the background, which means we're going to proceed now to our rapid fire round. In rapid fire, the rules are quite simple. We have a 2-minute countdown. Only one answer per question, please. If you answer correctly, it's 10 points. If you answer incorrectly, it's a -5. There's no referral as we have on toss-ups or face-offs. Now, every rapid fire has a subject, a theme, some general uniting influence. For today's rapid fire, you will be asked to identify people, places, and things based on general knowledge, the answers of all the questions to begin with the letter F. The letter is F, all right? Let's go. A fine-grained, very hard, siliceous rock, beginning with F, flint. The name of a type of World War I German airplane.
Destrehan, Levetro.
Fokker.
That's correct for 10. Small, polished, plain surface of a cut diamond is called what?
Sacred Heart, boss.
Face.
No, it's facet, facet. Spanish dance in the gypsy style, characterized
Sacred
by
Heart,
stamping
tonic.
and...
Flamenco.
That's right, it is, flamenco. 20th century former dictator of Spain is?
Sacred Heart, conic.
It's Franco. Must answer immediately when you ring it. Okay, we'll proceed. Union naval commander in the Civil War. His name was Farragut. J. Edgar Hoover was its first director.
Sacred Heart, conic.
FBI.
FBI is correct. Trademark name for a gas used as a refrigerant in refrigerators.
Destrehan, Godet.
Freon.
That's correct. 18th century English novelist and author of Tom Jones. His name was?
Sacred Heart, Windhorse.
Faulkner.
No, Fielding. Fielding. Considered to be the founder of psychoanalysis.
Sacred Heart, conic.
Sigmund Freud.
That's correct. Unit for measuring illumination.
Destrehan, Grenier.
Foot.
It's a foot candle, foot candle. Long, thin fencing or dueling weapon. Fencing or dueling weapon is foil, foil. 1/8 of a mile or 220 yards. 1/8 of a mile.
Sacred Heart, Windhorse.
Foot.
No, it's a furlong. The bull who would rather smell flowers than fight.
Destrehan, Grenier.
Fernandez.
No, it's Ferdinand. Ferdinand. English scientist who discovered electromagnetic induction. His name was Faraday. City of the Medicis on the Arno River in Italy.
Sacred Heart, boss.
Florence.
That's right. 13th President of the United States. Name was Fillmore. Plant from which linen is made.
Sacred Heart, Bast.
Flax.
Flax is correct. The third Sunday in June.
Sacred Heart, Conic.
Father's Day.
Correct. A high-pitched wind instrument.
Destrehan, Granier.
Flute.
Correct. Long speech for the purpose of obstructing passage of a bill.
Sacred Heart, Windhorse.
Filibuster.
It is. Filibuster on the button. Okay, we had a spirited rapid fire for sure, and we have plenty of second half. One of the great byproducts of this program, I think, is that we begin to know a little more about how sophisticated and progressive the techniques are in modern education. That goes for both schools. Ready to go? Second half. Let's begin. We're going to start off with a visual face-off. It'll lead up to a lanyap of 20 points. So we'll ask you to look at the monitors here in the studio. We have two of them. And you will see another of those marvelous road signs that we've been showing for about 2 months. Tricky road signs. For 10 points, can you tell me, what does this sign mean? Anyone want
Sacred
to
Heart,
take the lead?
Windhorse.
Like going around a circle? Like Lee Circle?
That's right. Traffic circle, going around in a circle. You're right for 10 points. Sacred Heart. I'm glad you said Lee Circle to clarify it, because I could see somebody doing that on Elysian Fields. Okay. Girls, you have a lanyap of 20 points in 2 parts. The National League Cy Young Award winner for this year has just been selected. For 10 points, tell me in what sport this award is given. That's the first question.
Baseball.
Correct. All right, for 10 more and a total of 20, tell me who was just selected for this honor in the National League. All right.
Carlton.
That's right, Steve Carlton, their fine left-hander. You got 20 points. We have another face-off. We're going for a lanyap of 20 points for 10 points. Tell me the name of the only professional football team that has won the Super Bowl 4 times.
Sacred Heart, Windhorse.
Pittsburgh Steelers.
That's correct. The Pittsburgh Steelers have won it 4 times. And that is the record. We have a lanyap at 20 again. In 1800, there was a tie in the presidential election. For 10 points apiece, tell me the names of the 2 men who tied for the presidency. The year 1800. All right, we'll ask for an answer, please. Sacred Heart. They were Thomas Jefferson and Aaron Burr. Thomas Jefferson and Aaron Burr. All right, it's a quick recall game. We can't wait too long, even on those, the lanyaps. Another face-off. We're going for a lanyap now, 30 points, teams. Although found naturally only in combination with other elements, this element is the most abundant in the Earth's crust.
Sacred Heart, Conic.
Silicon.
No, afraid not. We'll repeat now for Destrehan. No consultation. Must ring for recognition. Although found naturally only in combination with other elements, this element is the most abundant in the Earth's crust. And it forms the basis of many items that we find in everyday life. For 10 points, can you name this metal?
Destrehan, Gode.
Carbon.
No, it's aluminum. Aluminum. We have another face-off. The adjective jumbo comes from a very large animal that was exhibited in this country by P.T.
Sacred Heart, Bast.
Elephant.
It was an elephant. That's correct. The original jumbo was an elephant. You got 10 points. We have another lanyap, 30 points. Sir Thomas More first wrote about Utopia, although the concept of a perfect society has been around since Plato's time. For 5 points each, tell me whether the following utopias originally were fictional or were actual experiments in utopian living. For an additional 5 points, we'd also like you to tell us the man most closely associated with the creation of each of these societies. Utopian, real or fictional, the name of the man. Number 1, Walden 2.
Fictional. Thoreau.
No, Thoreau was the first Walden. He wrote a book about it. Natural mistake. Fictional is correct. For 5, Skinner was Walden 2. All right, Shangri-La. Real or fictional?
Fictional. Milton.
Who?
No, you said
She said Milton. I'm sorry. It meant Hilton probably, but it was James Hilton. Fictional is correct for 5 more points. Finally, New Harmony. Real or fictional? New Harmony. Real or fictional? Who was the man associated with it? New Harmony. Anyone? It was Robert Owen, and it was real. And we had 10 points on that question for Sacred Heart. Here's another face-off. We're going for a lanyap at 20 points. For a quick 10, tell me what author wrote The Magic Mountain? The Magic Mountain. Anyone? It was Thomas Mann, German expatriate who came to the United States. Another face-off. For an easy 10, tell me who elects the President of the United States if no candidate receives
Destrehan, Grenier.
The House of Representatives.
That's correct for 10 points if nobody receives a majority of the electoral votes, I should add. You picked up 10. Here's a chance at 20 more for 5 each. Name the explorer or discoverer associated with the following places. First, the West Indies.
Columbus.
That's correct. Columbus. St. Lawrence River would be Cartier, Jacques Cartier. Brazil. Which discoverer or explorer?
Cortez.
Cabral, in this case. Pedro Alvarez Cabral. And finally, the Zambezi River. Zambezi. This was Livingston, David Livingston, the gentleman after whom Stanley went. You picked up 5 more points, Destrehan. We'll go on now to another face-off. We're leading up to a lanyap of, let's see, 20. Although it sounds like a container for sodium chloride, it is actually a style of home with 2 stories in front,
Sacred
1
Heart,
story.
Bost.
Salt box.
That's correct, a salt box type of home or construction. You picked up 10. Your lanyap is in 3 parts. And I misquoted. This is a 30-point lanyap. In the 17th century, the Puritans in England overthrew the crown and established the protectorate. For 10 points, what was the nickname given these Puritans?
Roundheads.
Correct. For 10 points, what nickname was given to the King's supporters or royalists who faced the Roundheads? They were called the Cavaliers. And finally, for a final 10, what was the name of the decisive battle of 1044 in which the Roundheads defeated the Cavaliers?
Battle of Hastings.
No, this was the Battle of Marston Moor. However, you picked up 1, and that's 10 more points. Sacred Heart. All right, we got another face-off. We're going for a lanyap at 20 for a quick 10. Name the 3rd book of the Pentateuch in the Bible.
Sacred Heart,
Third
Conic.
Leviticus.
Correct, for 10 points. All right, you picked up 10. Here's a chance at 20 points of lanyap for 5 each. Identify the following words or phrases, all of which contain the word base, B-A-S-E. The molding covering the molding covering the joining of the wall and the floor.
Baseboard.
Baseboard. Of humble birth.
Baseboard.
Person is
Baseborn.
correct. For 5 more, the area in which a baseball player must keep when running between the bases.
Baseline.
Baseline's correct. And finally, the part of a building beneath ground level.
Basement.
Basement. You got them all. 20 points. Here's another face-off team. Now we're leading up to a lanyap at 20 points. For 10 points, in Iran, what is the title given to Sayed Mohammad Beheshti and Sadiq Khalkhali? There's a title given to each of them.
Destrehan, Gode.
Ayatollah.
That's right. They're Ayatollahs. You picked up 10 points. Here's a chance at the 20-point lanyap. There's been some speculation that the Iranians will soon come to a decision to release the American hostages on the grounds that they'd rather deal with President Carter than with President-elect Reagan. I said there's some speculation. The situation's been likened to that when the Pueblo prisoners were released to an outgoing president rather than to a president-elect. For 10 points each. Tell me the names of the outgoing president at that time and of the then president-elect. The Pueblo incident. Very similar. They've been incarcerated for some time. A lot of people said, well, the president?
Madison and Monroe.
No, this is much more recent. Pueblo was in the 60s. Outgoing president was Lyndon Johnson, and the president-elect was Richard Nixon. Okay, we got another face-off. We're going for a lanyap at 20. These pop-up tissues were first used in World War I as a mask filter. For 10 points, tell me the original trade.
Sacred Heart, Windhorse.
Kleenex.
That's right. That's the first use of Kleenex. Got 10 points. All right, you have we're using gas masks as filters. Here's a lanyap at 20 for 5 each. Supply the proper names of the following anatomical features of the human eye. Number 1, the transparent jelly-like substance that fills the eyeball between the retina and the lens is called what?
Can I delegate this
Surely,
to Susanna?
anytime. Yeah.
Is that the aqueous humor?
No, it's vitreous humor. Vitreous humor. All right, number 2, mucous membrane, which coats the inner sides of the eyelids.
Sclera?
No, this is the conjunctiva. Conjunctiva. Or iva. The tissue which forms the white of the eye is called what? What kind of tissue?
The sclera?
Sclero, yes, we'll accept that. Sclera or sclerotic tissue. Same thing. The water-like fluid which fills the space between the cornea and the lens is called what?
The aqueous humor.
That's the aqueous humor. You got it. 10 points. Sacred Heart. Got another face-off. We're going for a lanyap at 20. Kurt Waldheim is the Secretary General of the United Nations. For 10 points, what is the native country of Waldheim?
Sacred Heart, Greco.
Germany.
No. Destrehan, can you take it?
Destrehan, Grenier.
Soviet Union.
No. All around it. Austria is his homeland. We have another face-off. This question is about two scientists, one French, one English, both of whom are credited with a theory of evolution, or a theory of evolution. The French scientist lived earlier, are inherited. The English scientist's answer to the same question was natural selection. All right.
Sacred Heart, Connick.
Darwin?
And? We're going to have to turn it over to Destrehan. I'm afraid we're not going to quite make it on that. Now, this was this involved two gentlemen.
Lamarck.
Darwin was correct. The other was Lamarck, and that was required, of course, to answer the question completely. The buzzer means that we're out of time.